Hey everyone, welcome back to Open. The Latinx Project at New York University announces the upcoming exhibition, Ricanvisions, Global Ancestralities and Embodied Futures, featuring the work of 19 emerging and established artists from the contemporary diasporican and Nuyorican community, exploring themes such as migration, identity, and intersectional heritages. And joining us to share more is the Latinx Project Associate Director, Gabriel Magraner, and multidisciplinary artist and Ricanvisions co-curator, Javier Robles Almaz. Hello and welcome.
Thank you. We're so happy to be here.
We're so happy to have you. And this is a ginormous project, which I'm assuming has taken quite some time to put together, right? So before we even dive into this magnificence, because I know that's what's in store, and I want to make sure that our viewers understand what's in store, I would like them to have a better understanding of what the Latinx Project is.
Absolutely.
So if you could start, Gabriela, I'd appreciate
Perfect.
that.
So we are an interdisciplinary arts and culture center housed at New York University. We were founded in 2018 by Arlene Davila. She's an amazing scholar. And really part of the reason that we exist is to be a platform for artists and scholars. And so we have Interventions, which is the journal you mentioned. Anybody can pitch us a story, and it's a beautiful thing for people to be able to write our stories into the history records. But we also have an artist in residence open call, curatorial open call. And so this is our latest exhibition, and you know, the latest show that we've done as in our career.
Right. So just for clarity purposes, the Interventions is spelled with an X, right? We'll start there, right? So because even when you Google it, it links itself to Latinx Project, which I think is really cool. And obviously it's for inclusivity purposes, right? And that's actually how I became familiar with the Latinx Project. There's a lot of articles in there. There's a lot of, I want to say, underrepresented artists that are featured, that are highlighted, as well as the actual writers themselves and or photographers who are capturing. So it's a wonderful, wonderful platform, and thank you for being a part of that, right? Because we're all part of the same movement. Right, because you know I'm a Rican myself, and so I mean, even though it's really about the Latinx community, but you know, como esto es a Ricanvision, and we got you know this whole hotness going on with Benito.
Exactly.
But anywho, that leading into this particular art exhibition that is going to be opening January 31st. Javier, I know you're one of the curators, right?
Yes.
But you yourself are a multidisciplinary artist. So
right.
talk to us about like the hats that you've worn for this particular project.
Yeah, no, of course. So I'm co-curator with two other curators, Anailda Figueroa de Jesus and Andrea Sofia Matos, who were unfortunately unable to be here. But we've all worked really closely to kind of select the artists, and really some of the artists actually were chosen from our artist in residence open call, and so we decided to include them because throughout the year we only give the.
You only give, okay, so let's just back up a little bit first, because prior to getting on air, you shared with me that this open call went into existence in 2018.
No.
No, okay, I misunderstood. Okay, so clarify for me, because this is a lot of people that you're highlighting. I mean, this is a huge exhibition. And so obviously it falls under a particular theme. So just walk us through the process of yourself being a multidisciplinary artist, being the co-curator with these other co-curators, and how you chose the theme and how you were able to select the individuals to tell this story that you're all narrating.
Definitely. No, so what I was trying to say is that some of the artists that are included in the exhibition are artists who have applied to our open call. And so from that, since we weren't able to offer them the art residency, then we would then include them into the exhibition.
Into this exhibition. So that's what it is. They applied to the open call in 2018, and you remembered. Is that what it is? Yes?
They've applied.
I'm looking for clarity here.
Well, absolutely. So we were founded in 2018. but we've had open calls for the last few years.
Right.
And so that's where we have this beautiful list of artists that the curators were able to look at and see.
Right.
Right. Okay. Good. So we got that cleared up. Now let's talk about let's talk about the story.
Yes. So, Ricanvisions, Global Ancestralities and Embodied Futures came as a response to the necessity to really highlight the richness of the diasporic and New Rican community here in, and across the country. And so, what really makes this exhibition special is just how contemporary it is, but also how intergenerational it is. And so it really highlights a lot of the a range of emerging artists and established artists who have been doing work since the 1970s, but haven't really gotten their flowers. And so putting them in conversation with the contemporary artists and emerging artists today, I think really creates a really beautiful connection and beautiful kind of conversation between each other. And so I think for me, that's really what's exciting about this exhibition, because while it feels contemporary, some of these artists have been working since the literally 1980s. And so we have artists such as Marina Gutierrez, who has been doing really amazing sculptural work, but also paintings. But then we also have Miguel Lastra, who is engaging with ceramics and really reclaiming this narrative around reusing wasted materials to really, wasted ceramic material to really create and reshape their queer communities. So I think that's what's really, for me, it's really exciting to get to see these artists all in one kind of exhibition and really expanding time in that way.
Yeah, and it's like different disciplines, right, under one umbrella, on 2 floors, no less, right? And they all have their own story. Some incorporating, I'm saying this based on the visuals, right, of what I've interpreted. I can only imagine what it's going to feel like to experience it in person. Because I'm only looking at digital images, as are you guys, and but the some of it that really resonated with me was like, I gotta shout out my girl Juanita Alonso.
Of course.
Yes, because Juanita, I was very proud to see her name as part of the list. She's been in the game for a while.
Totally.
So yes, thank you for making sure that you're doing this intergenerationally. But her style, I've always found to be insightful when it comes to the body. I don't know. That's just always been my interpretation. It's like, I don't know, there's something about it that loans itself to the organs combined with ancestry, with trees. I don't know. It's very fascinating.
Yeah.
It's very fascinating, right? And then I saw another artist who had like imagery of elements such as the bananas, the plátanos, we'll say, right? So, but I wanted to make sure I said it in English, and then in a futuristic setting, so that we're kind of like honoring the past and moving into the future, which is also part of the title. So, does anyone want to talk more about like how that that narrative like loan itself to merging the different styles?
The narrative around the global ancestralities and embodied futures.
Yes.
Well, I think global ancestralities was a way to really honor the ancestors and honor the histories that kind of have shaped us all across as being, being from different diasporas and being impacted by different culture and different experiences. And I think that's where the global ancestralities really comes from. And I think, and especially like there's different artists who are talking and speaking with their ancestors. And so there's also, so the embodied futures is more about, as you're talking in regard to the body and how the body is responding and shaping in itself and shaping the future. And so I think that's really for us, that's kind of where it started to kind of come together in that sense, because while we're embodying these futures, we're embodying these practices of the past, and we're looking towards a future, because I think that's.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Well, and you mentioned Benito earlier, and one of the artists was actually installing their work in the exhibition, listening to the album, and I think so much of it is about our own family histories. I'm a diasporican by way of Texas.
Right.
Or, earlier we're talking about the Virgin Islands, so I think it's beautiful that there's so many stories, and there often aren't enough platforms for our communities. So this is really special. And we also have this new book.
I know. I'm looking forward to talking about this because this looks like quite the anthology. So who put this together?
Yeah, so this is an anthology with 19 contributors, and it was edited by Arlene Davila and Yasmin Ramirez. And the amazing thing is all of the artists in the book are different than the artists in the show, and it was a statement from the curators really to say, like, there's so much out there. There's so much diversity as far as Nuyorican and diasporican art.
Okay, so is this a book with art in it?
Yes, so
Okay,
there are about
yeah,
60
so, I mean,
images.
because I'm used to, you know, like
Right.
coffee table books about art, but this is like an anthology. Is it poetic form? What is it?
Mostly
Short
kind
stories?
of research, scholars, but also kind of community folks and curators writing different histories. So it's a bit of a survey from the 1960s to today. A lot of essays around, you know, New York City, Nuyorican, but there's also Philadelphia, Orlando, folks working performance on YouTube, casitas, architecture in the Bronx. So there's a little bit of everything, and we're really excited that this book is now out. It's available for people to order, and we'll have a book launch and a panel this spring, so should be cool.
Well, you know why I have a big Kool-Aid smile? Because I just opened it randomly, and of course it opened up to Wanda Raimundi Ortiz, who's from the Bronx, who is also like part of my pioneering tribe. And although she's not here in the Bronx, she still is like prominent in this field. So it's lovely that you have her on record.
Absolutely.
I love that,
Right,
and I
right.
love how it just opened up to her. I mean, obviously there's a lot of other artists, but the point is that everybody's on record now and researchable.
Exactly, and I think that's like we're not just writing we're writing them in history.
Right.
And I think that's like that's also really important. That's why the exhibition is also really exciting because it's adding to the book, and they're all kind of in conversation with each other.
So they belong together, right? So the book is going to be available at the exhibition as well.
Definitely.
And even though it's separate from it, it's a different it's a different story being told. They kind of they complement each other.
Yes,
Absolutely.
exactly.
And it's also connected to our center because it started from a conference in 2022 that was an open call conference. And so having that conference turn into the book and then also be in conversation with the exhibition, there's just so much happening.
That's wonderful. We're so excited that you've chosen to bring it here to us and to share with our viewers. This is very exciting. I know the exhibition is going to be on display for quite some time too, which is also exciting. People have until May of 2025 to experience it. And I want to thank you, Gabriel. I want to make sure I say it right. Magranen.
Yeah.
Right, who is the Latinx Project Associate Director, and then, of course, multidisciplinary artist and co-curator, Javier Robles Armas. And you guys, we've been speaking everything Ricanvisions, Global Ancestralities and Embodied Futures, which launches with a public opening celebration on January 31st. And it will be on view until May 2nd of 2025. That is happening at 20 Cooper Square, first and third floor galleries in Manhattan. And for more information on both the exhibition and the book, you can visit latinxproject.nyu.edu/RicanVisions. All right, stay tuned. Our Open Artist Spotlight is coming up next.